All right. Welcome, everybody, to the Noble with Noble podcast with me, Ryan Noble. For those of you that don't know, I'm a realtor in Toronto, and I started this podcast to sort of speak to some other individuals and people within the industry, people in other industries, just to have a conversation with them. So today we have Darren Slavens. So welcome, Darren.
Thank you
for being
very much.
my first
Your
first
guinea pig?
guest, my guinea pig on the podcast, exactly. So
Happy to be here.
thank you.
I
So,
like the name. You settled on what is it? Noble.
Noble with Noble. Yeah. So
Noble
my
with
friend Kenny Leibovich, shout out to Kenny if you're watching, listening. He came up with the name. I did an Instagram contest where I just had a ton of people comment because I came up with some ideas, but
It's a great name.
yeah, no,
Good job,
it is
Kenny.
a great name. And also my uncle as well. My uncle Jason. My mom runs a football pool, and his name has always been Noble. So he, give him some credit.
Noble or no bull?
No,
Noble.
Nobull.
Got it.
It's always been his name. So
Very
I'll give
clever.
him some partial credits for that.
There you go.
And even though it runs the family.
Yeah. Hey.
But yeah, that's it. So, today we're going to be talking about a little bit of real estate, a little bit about you, and then we'll move forward, I guess.
Sounds good.
Yeah, just tell me, I guess, obviously I joined your brokerage for a reason. You're
Yeah.
an incredible person, incredible realtor and broker of record. So
I'm gonna
for those who
blush.
don't know, Darren owns and runs my brokerage. And I guess you can sort of tell me about your journey, how you started off.
Yeah. I guess you could say I've always been in the business because my dad had a brokerage, and growing up I was always in his office. I was always playing in his office. I was like, always pretend
that,
real
yeah.
estate agent, like a little idiot running around pestering everybody in the office. But I always knew I wanted to do this. I didn't start in real estate. I wanted to work elsewhere, get experience elsewhere. So I went to work for a real estate investment trust. I had my own business. And when I got engaged, I said, okay, it's time. So I got my license, and I got a table at the back where you're sitting now.
Yeah.
And I got okay, you're on your own, go do whatever you can do. Which was the right way to do things. I didn't get very much help to begin with, that's for sure. But it sort of led me to realize what this industry is all about, and the fact that I would sit at the back and twiddle my thumbs. Like, phone's not ringing. What do I do?
And there's so many people that feel that now, like new realtors, everyone who's coming into the business, they think it's so easy. You can go,
For sure.
You're selling houses. It's easy. But then you get up there and you realize, you sit there and that's exactly what I was doing for a little bit. You're sitting there sort of twiddling your thumbs. You're like, I don't know what to do.
100%.
What do I do with my days, and how do you capitalize that? Because as much as it's making connections in the business, it's having those people trust you. So how do you find people who know you, but also find people who don't know you and build that sort of trust for them to...
Back then it was even more difficult because we didn't have social media or anything, no mass way of communicating with potential clients. So it was challenging to figure out what you were going to do because you were just sitting there. So my goal became that anybody that knew me, I needed to make sure that anytime they heard the word real estate, they would think of me.
Yeah.
And how to do that became my mission. And it just became getting in front of people, making sure they would think about me, and take on any job that would come my way. I had the good fortune of starting at a time where most of my friends were getting their first places.
Right.
They were rentals typically, but I didn't care.
Yeah.
And I think in my first year in the business, I did 35 rentals.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it was good in terms of volume.
Yeah,
it wasn't making a lot of money because rents were much cheaper back then.
Right.
But I did 35 leases, and within 3 years, every single one of those people had bought their first place.
Oh, that's great.
So I was able to catch the wave and ride it from their rental to their first condo to their first house.
Yeah.
And now I'm at the stage where people are buying their second homes or, vacation properties. So really that was the trajectory I was able to, catch.
Right.
And I guess I had been in the business about 5 years, maybe a little less. And, my dad came to me and he said, listen, I'm doing a deal with Richard Sherman, who's going to be taking over the brokerage. And basically, if you can get yourself into the deal, go for it. And if not, not.
Yeah.
So Richard was great. And, we ended up doing a deal together. And we became partners. He was the broker of record. I did a lot of the management stuff.
Okay.
And 13, 14 years go by. Next thing you know, Richard's at a different stage in his life.
Yeah.
And it was always my dream to own a brokerage, to own this brokerage.
Yeah.
And an offer was made to Richie by an outside source.
Okay.
And I exercised my right of first refusal. And now we're here today.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I guess I came in right as that transition happened, because when I first called Richard, I had a friend's mom recommend me to Richard. Called him on the phone for half an hour, and that was during that process of the transition. I know that he was busy with that and with the other stuff, and now he seems I guess a little bit more relaxed and
yeah, well,
still busy, but
he's free. Well, he's an amazing agent, and he will always be busy as long as he wants to be in this business. He's one of the top agents in the city, and now he just gets to focus on being an agent. And it's a lot less stress for him, a lot more stress for me, but it is what it is.
But you wanted to take on the responsibility,
I did, yeah.
And you're doing
and I had it towards the latter years of our partnership, I had started a team, and my business as an agent had really taken off and was very busy, probably the best it had been in my career. And when I am a competing broker in the sense that I still sell real estate.
Right.
But at the time I terminated my team. And just since I've been focusing on being the broker of record and running the business, I do still sell for my existing clientele and referrals.
Right.
I need to. You need to make money.
Of course.
And that's the way to make money.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be in a position where I'm competing with our agents for business. So.
Right. And so when you terminated your team, where did those team members go? Did they stay within the brokerage? Did they sort of branch off? Like, do you feel like whatever you taught them sort of helped them?
For sure. So Diana De Silva was on my team. She was an amazing agent. She came to me from Icorn Real Estate. She is a gifted agent. She's still with our brokerage. She's an agent with our brokerage now. Yeah. Her husband has come into the business. They're working together, and she's one of the best agents in the city. I have no doubt about that. She cares about her clients. She's a hustler. She works exceptionally hard, and she'll be with us forever. And I think she was shocked when the situation came about.
Right.
But I think it was the kick that she needed. She had always been on a team, and now she's on her own, and she's killing it. So I think it worked out well for her. I had another agent that was part of my team. She's no longer with our brokerage. Her name was Rochelle Levy. She's a great agent as well. Yeah. So listen, it came to a point in my career where I had to shit or get off the pot, right? I knew that I would have a difficult number of years ahead of me,
right.
Rebranding the brokerage, rebuilding the brokerage, growing the brokerage, versus having an established team with less responsibility that was making a lot of money.
Right.
So I took the hard route in order to build something.
Yeah, and sometimes, and it looks like it's paying off so far, right? Like
well, I had pretty shitty timing considering the market, but there's nothing you can do about that. I'm thrilled with the people that have come to our office. We've got a lot of great new people to the business, and we've had a lot of great agents from other offices join us. So we're certainly heading in the right direction, which I'm very excited about. Yeah. But it's taken a lot of investment.
Of course,
right?
Yeah.
And
it's hard, right? A lot of people who get into the business, they just think, you're running your own business, but then you get the people who run their own brokerage and have all these offices, and it's a completely different responsibility than being an agent. It's almost like two separate jobs.
Totally. And we're a different beast. I've never worked at another real estate brokerage, so it's hard for me to say. But what I hear from people when they come in is that we operate very differently, and we invest a lot in our agents. We encourage our agents to build their brands. We're very heavy on the support,
which is incredible. I've spoken to people at other brokerages, and they're getting help, but it doesn't seem like they're getting the same sort of help. Like this brokerage, Slavens, is more of a hands-on help.
100%.
Where you go out and you do the things, right? Some other brokerages have training where you're talking about...
Well, you're sitting in a classroom.
Yeah.
And I think that that's bullshit. To me, it doesn't work. At least it didn't work for me as a student, sitting in a classroom being lectured at.
Me neither.
I'm a hands-on learner, and I believe in an office culture. I know that's been challenging since COVID, but I think that we've managed to build a real team environment and culture, and we encourage people to come into the office. I can tell you that the best producers come into the office on a regular basis.
Yeah.
People feed off each other's energy. People are genuinely happy for other people's successes.
Yeah, and you see that. It's visual. You can come into the office for a day and just watch and see how everyone interacts with each other. It's like it's a family.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what it took a long time to get there.
Yeah.
In this business, well, there's two things about this business. One is it's a very lonely business. Mm-hmm. You're on your own. You're an entrepreneur. You have your business, and you're there to sink or swim.
Yeah.
Okay? At our office, it's not like that. And it's intentionally not like that. We don't want anybody to feel alone. We want it to be as if you have a partner in your business, but they're a silent partner. They're just someone for you to talk to bounce ideas off of, to run ideas past, to help you implement ideas. And the other issue is there's a lot of dicks in this business.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people whose shit don't stink.
Well,
and
70,000 agents just in
Toronto,
just in the GTA, which is crazy.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It is crazy. And I don't want people like that. I used to always say I'd rather have 10, 100,000 earners than one $1 million earner.
Right.
Because so many people in that range, might not be the nicest, right?
Yeah.
There's plenty of nice ones, that's for sure. We have exceptionally nice ones in our office.
Yeah.
But we didn't want an environment where someone would just, come through the door and think they were the cock of the walk and that their stuff gets done before everybody else's.
Yeah.
That was not for me.
So what do you look for when you're scouting for agents or you have people come in? What are some things that, you come in and from that first conversation, right? You don't have to look at a resume. You don't have to look at...
It's funny. You can tell right away, too.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things I'm looking for. If they're a new agent, first of all, a trend in the business that I'm seeing that's exceptionally worrying with new agents is everybody comes in wanting leads. And I understand that. You're in this business to make money.
Of course.
But nobody can start at the top. And nobody gives anything away for free.
Yeah.
Anybody that's interested only in how many leads they're going to be given and how much their commission split is, I can tell right off the bat, isn't probably going to be successful in this business.
Right.
The question people should be asking is, are you going to teach me to get my own leads? Are you going to help me build a business plan? Are you going to show me how to be successful in this business? Not what are you going to give.
Right.
Hunger is the most valuable asset you can have in this business. You need to have bills to pay. Yep. You need to have a life to pay for. You need to want to make money.
Because you don't want to sound desperate doing it. Right? Because as soon as you start to sound desperate, I feel like that's when...
Yeah, you don't want to sound desperate, but you want to be truthful. And quite frankly, I want to know that you're here to make money because so many people get caught in the trap in this business of sitting there and just feeling woeful, like it's not working for me, nothing's happening, this sucks, blah, blah, blah. But they're not going out and getting the business. 2% of the agents make 98% of the money in this business.
Yeah.
Because they go out and they get it.
They hustle.
Yeah, they hustle. Yeah. And it takes time. It doesn't happen right at the beginning. But they are working harder than anybody you know. Okay? This business, people, you see it all the time. They fly in, they fly out. So few agents put in a full hard day's work.
Yeah.
9 to 5, right? Like working on their business 9 to 5. I always tell people, I probably told you this when I met you.
Yep.
You're not in the real estate business. You're in the Ryan business.
Exactly.
Or you're in the Darren business.
Exactly.
You have a service to sell, and that service is how you make your money. Yes, you sell houses. You need to be able to do that.
Yeah.
You need to be able to negotiate. You need to be able to protect your clients. You need to be fierce about all those things. But if you don't have clients to do it for, you're useless. You could be the greatest in the world. It makes no difference.
Yeah.
So the key to success in this business is realizing that you're an entrepreneur. You own a business. That business sells a service. That service is selling houses and protecting people when they buy houses. So how do you get the word out about your business?
Yeah. How do you build that for like a new agent, for example, or even someone now who's been in the business for a long time and maybe wants to rethink their strategies? What's the best way, in your opinion, to sort of build that business?
Well, there's no fast route to building your business, okay? I always say real estate is like a reverse pyramid. It starts small and it builds out. And even though it starts small, your base needs to be exceptionally strong. Now, It runs, in my opinion, contrary to all the technology and all those sorts of things. Those are aspects, but they come later on. This goes back to old school sales 101. The biggest way to be successful in this business is to develop a database, to start with a database.
Right.
I tell people just starting out, this is your wedding invitation list, right? Like put that together. That is your mine, and you got to mine it for gold. Those are your cheerleaders. Those are the people that know you. Those are the people that are going to sell your service for you.
Yeah, your friends, family.
Yeah. So the first thing you need to do is get that database together.
Right.
And once it's together, you start farming it. You plant the seeds. You let it grow. You make sure your goal needs to be that everybody in that database, when they hear the word real estate, they mention Ryan.
Yeah.
And they get you referrals. It doesn't even matter if these people never use you themselves. Because just because they might not use you doesn't mean they're not going to refer you.
Right.
So the most important thing to start with is a database, and to nurture and grow and build that database, because that is where the vast majority of your business will come from.
Yeah. And so for new agents, after you build that database, I guess, how would you what do you look for when you're finding a brokerage? Like like someone could come in to the business, not know much. Okay, here we go. I have 100 people on my contact list.
Mm-hmm.
What would you look for when finding a brokerage that'll say, that are like the green flags that say, listen, this is somewhere that I want to join, where I can go and
you want, like I said before, you want to know, that you have that silent partner, that you have somebody that's going to stick with you to help you develop those relationships, to help you develop that business, right? Not somewhere where nobody's going to give a fuck what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Like, so easily people could just come into the office, sit at their desk, and do nothing, right? Just the very nature of somebody reaching out and saying, hey, let's meet once a week, let's meet every 2 weeks, let's make sure you're meeting your goals, you're getting your to-do list done, that sort of thing. That extra accountability is a huge factor.
Like a coach or a mentor.
Yeah, I don't look at it like that. Like, I think that the term mentor is a buzzword. I don't think it works. I think that that's another thing in this business that they talk about, mentors. Well, who's in it for what? What are the people in it for? I have a hard time believing people are in it just to help the younger agent out, right?
But sometimes teaching helps you as well, right? Helping teach other people.
Yeah, I just don't call it mentorship. Mentorship is... It's just the way we do things. I guess it is mentorship. I guess that's an appropriate word to call it. I just think when people think mentorship, they're thinking one-on-one, meeting with one person only, holding their hand and, going with them 24/7. That's not what we have. But we have situations where it's not just me. It could be anyone in the office. People are willing, as part of our culture, to help agents out throughout the office, to hold their hand. I think, you could tell me, you can feel comfortable walking up to anyone in our office
absolutely.
And asking their opinion, asking them for help, asking, whatever you want to know.
I still remember like my first days there weren't that many agents into the office. It's summertime. People are out. They're doing things on their summer vacation. But every single time someone would come into the office, they'd see me sitting at the back where all the new agents start. And they'd come up to me and, introduce themselves and talk to me and, ask me my story because they want to learn, right? They want to learn about me because, again, just because I'm the competition for them, essentially. It's still a business where you want to cooperate with everybody and you want to build those friendships and build those connections because you don't know down the line, those could be the people who help you out the most, right?
Yeah, like Richie and I used to say when we would meet with agents, it's not a dog-eat-dog environment. Like I said, I've never been in another office, but you hear horror stories of people having leads stolen right off their desk. That will never happen at our office. Right. It's not that. I don't think people look at each other as competition in our office. Maybe that's not a good thing. Maybe that that competition spurns people to do better. But it's not what we want. Like I prefer a team environment where people are happy for other people's successes. Yeah,
which is exactly what I find, right?
Sure. And because we have a, air quotes, policy of having 2 people at every open house, that's led to so many different people in the office working together. Right. Because they've sat open houses, again, pre-COVID, but they've sat open houses with so many different people in the office and picked up leads, picked up clients, sold homes together, that so many people in the office know each other so well and have done deals together that there's just this natural camaraderie, which is great.
And at the same time, it's good because now I can go call anybody in the office and they'd be more than happy to come and help me out, right? Whereas
for sure,
I've heard other stories of people in other offices, like they don't know half the people who are in their brokerage, right? They have 200-300 people in the office.
That's the benefit of being a smaller office as well. I mean, we have about 70 agents. My goal is to grow to somewhere between 80 and 100. Okay. But I don't want to grow past that because it's impossible to maintain quality. And we're big proponents of quality over quantity.
Right.
And it's not possible to know what's going on in everybody's business, right? Yeah. Like still to this day, every listing file that comes into our office, I review. I'm notified of every offer. Our office operates different than a lot of offices. Like we do everybody's offers. We do everybody's broker loading. We do everybody's marketing. Like we handle everything for our agents. If we get past, 100 agents, it's not going to be able to provide the quality level that we want to provide. And we recognize as a brokerage, we're in the agent business. We're not in the real estate business.
Yeah, of course.
Granted, we want to provide the best agents to the public possible. We want to protect the public as much as possible. We want to ensure, we want to ensure they have the best experience. But our business is built on ensuring that agents have the best experience possible.
Right.
We want to help them build their brands.
Yep.
We want to help them build their business. We want to make sure they're the best educated. We want to make sure they have every tool required to provide their clients with the best experience possible.
Yeah. And that starts on the back end, right? All these people that you're hiring, it's not even the agents, it's the people who are in office, who are some incredible people who are,
for sure. We have the best staff in the business.
Yeah, from the back end. There's no question. And you can call anybody at any time.
Yep.
And they're on the phone, they're answering. You can call someone at 8, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, and they're still out.
Oh yeah, for sure. The business never sleeps. That's for sure.
I know. I think that's what's really good about this brokerage and what you've done and what you've built.
Thanks, man.
From there is because a lot of people come in and they don't get that support, and from day one you can see it. But it's a matter of those people coming in and valuing that support, because a lot of people come in, they don't see the value in.
They don't. A lot of people go right to commission splits, and right off the bat, we're not the best commission splits. There's no question. But anybody that's come here and been successful here has never once complained about the commission because they see the value in what they're paying for.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that people are trained to think only about commission and fees and this sort of thing, because the reality is, one extra deal a year or one that's going to cover well more than any fee or split you're going to pay.
You can do one deal at a 90-10 split, or 10 deals at a 50-50 split, or 60-40, whatever.
Yeah.
And the 10 deals is really more beneficial because even though it may not be more money, it still comes out to, the value, and you have those clients, and those will come back later. And
Sure.
like you said, people don't always see the value in that.
Yeah. People,
But
everybody
also
wants to
tough,
skip to the finish line today.
Yeah.
Nobody's got the patience to build a business.
Right.
Right. That's why, everybody just wants the quick fix. The I want to make $1 million right now. They're not prepared to put in the work to build a business.
Yeah, you got to start from the ground up. Right?
You got to learn.
It's
You
like
got to get your
opening a
battle
store.
scars.
Yeah.
You gotta know how to do it. Listen, if you come into this business and all you ever learn is how to service leads,
Yeah.
right? When it comes time for you to leave, you may know how to service people, but you don't know how to get people.
Right.
And you tell me, which is the more valuable skill? Getting people or servicing people?
Getting people 100%.
Of course, because you could be the best servicer in the world. If you don't have people to do it for, you got nothing. So,
yeah. So tell me about your craziest, because I feel like you've seen a lot of things in real estate.
oh yeah.
I want to know what your craziest story is.
My craziest story.
We can do like even craziest thing. Maybe you've seen that in open house.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have a go-to. I've talked about it. I've blogged about it, but it's it's just so crazy that how can I not tell it? I was doing an open house in Forest Hill, and it was a listing of mine, and I co-listed it with Daniel Pustel at the time. Anyway, we were doing an open house. It was fairly busy. Nobody lived in this open house. It was new construction.
Okay.
Anyways, I see a convertible car pull up, and the husband or the male of the two gets out of the car, comes into the open house, starts walking around. You don't think anything of it. It's not an abnormal thing.
Yeah.
A couple of minutes later, the woman walks in.
Okay.
And
Separate car.
same car.
Oh, same car. Okay.
She comes in, she starts walking around, but they're not acknowledging each other.
Right,
They're
right.
just, strangers walking through a house. Anyways, whatever. It's just a weird situation. And the open house continues to go on, and the house starts to thin out. And all of a sudden it's just down to Danny and I. And I noticed that their car is still out front, though.
Okay.
I wrote, did these guys leave? What the hell's going on here? So we go looking. And I guess he went down to the basement and checked out the back of the main floor. And I went up. They weren't on the second floor. I go up to the third floor, and they are going at it on the third floor. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And I nailed them like point blank. I was just in fucking shock. My jaw dropped. They saw me. They were almost like smiling in shame. Like they weren't afraid. They were embarrassed, I guess.
Yeah, because
I turned. I started to walk downstairs. They zipped up, kept their mouth shut, walked
straight out the door.
stairs, went right out the door.
didn't even look back at you. Just
Didn't even
straight
look
out the
down,
door.
and they left. And
That's crazy.
so I caught people. It's called, actually, if you Google it,
Yeah.
it's called house humping.
Really?
And it's a thing. It's a turn on for people. They go around to open houses and to showings, and they get it on. And
Maybe it's like the thrill of getting
I don't know,
caught,
but it's a thing.
caught.
It's a thing.
I feel like you hear that, and you hear stories of that, but you never actually really experienced that
Exactly.
firsthand. And now it's like
We experienced it.
embedded into your brain.
It's embedded. I can still picture them, actually.
Yeah. So now, is there anything that you change in your open houses when you do them to sort of prevent that?
So yeah, I mean, we're pretty secure with our open houses. We concentrate a lot on security for our clients and our agents as well.
Yeah.
We actually have security protocol in place for all our agents, particularly our female agents.
Okay.
But
That's important.
It is important.
Yeah.
We insist on 2 people at every open house. This was just a fluke situation. So I'm not overly concerned that it would ever happen again. In 40 years, I know since my dad had the brokerage, I think at most we've lost a pair of shoes.
Okay.
Has been stolen. So we're very safe. And we advise clients what to do, like not have any cash or jewelry in the house when it's up for sale.
Yeah, of course.
That sort of thing.
Because that's, you need to make sure that you're protecting your client. It's not only about who comes into the open house, but
100%.
what their intentions are when they come in. So
Yep.
yeah, that's I mean, there are a lot of agents that don't really do. I feel like there are a lot of agents that don't do open houses. And
For
maybe
sure.
that's why. Maybe there's like a fear of
Well, I mean,
something
COVID changed everything.
Right.
Open houses when I was coming up, and still, like, a good agent will kill for an open house. An open house provides so many opportunities.
Yeah.
Like, I am a firm believer that we shouldn't be using opportunities off our clients' back to gain business.
Right.
If you're going to do an open house, approach it as if you're doing it for your client. You're there to sell the house.
Yeah.
But the truth is, it is a golden opportunity to pick people up.
Right.
Your first job when you're there is to sell that house for that client. But if these people aren't interested in that house, pick them up. Like, this is a situation where they're walking into your showroom, they're walking into your store. This is a golden opportunity. And anybody that's not fighting for open houses, why are they in this business? They don't want to work on a Saturday or Sunday 2 to 4. Why are you in this business? This is the hardest business in the world. There's a misconception that this business is easy. It's not easy. It's very profitable if you're good at it. You can have an unbelievable career. You can go golf on a Tuesday afternoon if you want to, but you are working harder in this industry, if you're successful, than any other industry I know of.
Yeah, because it's 24/7.
It's 24/7 and nobody's giving you anything. You got to fight for everything you get.
Yeah. And I feel like with the open houses too, there are a lot of people who are just from the general public, people who aren't real estate agents who don't understand what the open house is about, right? Like they don't see value in going to an open house. If I'm looking for a place.
I understand that. And the truth is, the odds of you selling a house from an open house are very slim.
Right.
Okay. But it's about throwing as much shit against the wall and hoping something sticks. You're putting up a multi-million-dollar property, $1.5 million property, whatever the cost is. This is your biggest asset in the world. Let's do everything we can to get it sold and get it sold for a good price. Yeah. A lot of the public thinks that agents just do it to pick up business for themselves.
Right.
And there's some truth to that. But what they're not thinking about is a lot of buyer agents use it as a second showing.
Yeah.
They're too lazy to come show it again. They tell them to go to the open house. Mm-hmm. It's an opportunity for somebody that's interested to bring their family.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity for a neighbor to see the house and say, oh, crap, you know what? Joe from my bridge club was telling me he wants to be in the neighborhood. This could be perfect for him. I'll let him know.
Yeah.
So the odds of you selling it directly to somebody walking into an open house is slim. Right. And that's why people are skeptical about it. But there's so many more benefits for the seller and to get that property sold besides just that.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
and all the people that come in, even if they're not neighbors, most of the people that come in are actual legit buyers, right? These are people who are, have the money, are interested in the place. And now you can sort of get a price range of what these people are looking for.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely get tire kickers. You definitely get nosy neighbors. And whenever I face that objection from a seller, well, we're just going to get nosy neighbors, I say, you're right. I love nosy neighbors because nosy neighbors tell people.
Exactly. And even then, right? Let's say I'm driving down the street and I see someone, even if it's a neighbor, I see them walking into the open house. That's an opportunity, right? I'm walking by, here's someone who's trying to come into the property. Maybe there's some interest in it. Yeah. And I'll stop my car on the side of the street.
Sure.
And
absolutely
go in and look at
Use every tool at your disposal to sell your client's property. And this is just a tool. And anybody that's if they're just not interested in spending the time or they're bragging about, I don't do open houses, maybe they have a legit reason for that and it works for them and that's great. But I think more often than not, it's that they don't want to work on the weekends. Right. Right. And I understand that too. Listen, but even then, we have to live lives.
It's
right?
2 hours.
It's 2 hours.
You're
and
probably sitting at home. You go watch a movie in that time.
An office like ours, there's plenty of young people to offer that opportunity too. Okay. You want to spend time with your family? That's fine. Ask Ryan, ask Anna,
somebody
ask
else,
whoever to sit there for you.
Yeah.
And they'll grab the opportunity.
Yeah. But sometimes people, I don't know. I know with our brokerage, we sort of have that shared aspect where, if I'm sitting in your open house, right, maybe you get a piece of it because some of the other agents don't see value in sitting. Like, what would I get out of it if it's your house, for example?
So if you're sitting in an open house for me, whatever you pick up is yours, right? That's the way I do it. all agents operate differently. And certainly somebody who has lots of listings in premier locations is going to be able to set up whatever scenario they want.
Of course.
But for the most part, most agents, it's an unwritten rule that if you sit there open house, whatever you pick up is your business.
Yep.
And if you're sitting with another person, you split it 50-50. There's some agents out there who would say, listen, you're going to do my open house, but I get 25% of whatever you pick up, which is fine too. There's nothing wrong with that. Do what works for you. But I would say that the unwritten standard is if you're doing an open house for me, then whatever you pick up is yours.
Okay. Yeah, it's good to know because, maybe we just have that one track mind. We're like, that's how it runs. And some people may not have that. So,
yeah,
that's good. Well, I think that's
it.
We're coming to the end. Anyway, Darren, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
We're going to put all of your socials. Like, where can people find you on Instagram?
Just
Instagram.
Slavens Real Estate. Don't worry about me. I think I'm Darren Slavens Real Estate on Instagram.
We're going to link all of that below.
Beautiful. And check out slavensrealestate.com and just do business with Ryan.
Sounds good. And Darren too. You can give him a call anytime. It's a guy who, personally I can call anytime.
I'm tired. I'm quite tired.
11:30 at night I've called this guy on the phone and he's picked up no problem.
For sure.
I don't know if he's sleeping or...
Actually, I had a father of a client text me at 4:30 this morning, and we ended up having a conversation at 5 o'clock this morning.
That's crazy.
I know.
I'm dead asleep at that time.
I know.
That just shows you what kind of person you are there.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what time of day. Some people, they have I'm only available 9 to 5 or I'm only available here. It's, you can call anytime and that's a good value to have in a person and someone who runs your brokerage. So
thanks, bud.
that's great. Yeah, thanks again for everyone for listening and watching. Be sure to follow Darren. Incredible guy. He posts a lot of good content on as well.
Thank you.
And that's it. We'll see you next week.
Cheers.